And so the magic of music is that it can live forever.
Jon Bon Jovi spent decades building the image of the ultimate rock and roll romantic. The voice behind songs like Livin' on a Prayer and Always looked like the man who had it all figured out. Fans saw the leather jackets, the arena lights, and the love songs that seemed to promise loyalty forever. But in 2024, during a candid interview, Jon Bon Jovi said something that instantly caught the world's attention. He admitted that during the wild years of fame, he had got away with murder. He talked about the arrogance of the rockstar lifestyle. He mentioned numbers that sounded unbelievable, and suddenly people began asking the same question that had quietly followed his career for years. What really happened behind the scenes? And more importantly, why did Dorothea Hurley, the woman who knew him before any fame, stay by his side through all of it? Jon Bon Jovi was born John Francis Bon Jovi Jr. on March 2, 1962 in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. The environment he grew up in was far from glamorous. His family was working class, and discipline was a central part of everyday life. Both of his parents had served in the United States Marine Corps. His father, Jon Bon Jovi Sr., had been born in 1930 and later worked as a barber. His mother, Carol Sharkey, born in 1940, had a strong personality and a determined spirit that shaped the household. She once joked that the Marines were easier than the life she had experienced growing up. After leaving military service, Carol worked as a florist and eventually ran several small businesses. She had an independent streak that influenced Jon more than he realized at the time. The family home was not wealthy, but it was full of energy. Jon grew up alongside his two brothers, Anthony and Matthew, learning early that if you wanted something in life, you had to work for it. There was also an unusual chapter in Carol's early life that Jon later spoke about with a mixture of surprise and admiration. In the early 1960s, she had worked as one of the original Playboy bunnies at the Manhattan Playboy Club. The club had opened in 1962, the same year Jon was born, and it quickly became one of the most talked about nightlife spots in New York City. Carol worked around glamorous performers, celebrities, and socialites. According to Jon, she even encountered legendary figures like Frank Sinatra during those years. Despite those connections, none of that glamour changed the reality of the Bon Jovi household. The family lived modestly. They focused on raising their children and making sure the boys understood the value of effort and responsibility. Many years later, Carol remained closely connected to Jon's career. She even created and ran the official Bon Jovi fan club, earning the affectionate nickname Mom Jovi from fans around the world. When she passed away in July 2024, just days before her 84th birthday, Jon described her simply as a force to be reckoned with. Music entered Jon's life surprisingly early. By the time he was 12 years old, he had already formed his first band. The group played in a school talent show, and the results were not exactly encouraging. They finished last. For many kids, that kind of embarrassment would have ended the dream immediately. For Jon, it did the opposite. He kept going. Around that same time, he began teaching himself piano and guitar. Instead of following formal lessons, he learned by copying songs he admired, especially music by Elton John and other rock artists dominating the radio during the 1970s. Music quickly stopped being a hobby. It became a mission. By the time he reached his teenage years, he was already spending evenings hanging around local New Jersey clubs, watching bands perform and imagining himself on the stage instead of in the audience. At 16, he met keyboard player David Bryan, and together they formed a band called Atlantic City Expressway. Even though they were technically too young to play many clubs, they managed to perform regularly in the New Jersey music scene. Those small performances built confidence. They also built friendships that would eventually become the foundation of the band that changed everything. High school brought another important moment into Jon's life. After beginning his education at St. Joseph High School, he transferred to Sayreville War Memorial High School. It was there, in 1980, that he met Dorothea Hurley. Their meeting happened in a way that later became famous. Jon was struggling in a history class, and Dorothea allowed him to copy answers from her work. Years later, he laughed about the moment in interviews, saying he was drawn to her immediately. At the time, neither of them could have known that the simple classroom encounter would turn into a relationship lasting decades. Dorothea was not impressed by fame or ambition. She came from the same kind of New Jersey background Jon did. She understood the reality of working-class life, and she had her own strong identity. She was also deeply involved in martial arts. Over time, she became a highly skilled karate practitioner, eventually earning a 4th-degree black belt and working as a karate instructor. In the early 1990s, she was even ranked nationally in competitive karate circles. Jon often joked that people should never underestimate her strength. That independence became a crucial part of their relationship. Dorothea was never the kind of partner who would simply orbit around a celebrity. Like many young relationships, theirs experienced turbulence. In 1985, the couple briefly broke up. During that period, Jon dated actress Diane Lane for several months, and for a moment it seemed like the relationship with Dorothea might be finished permanently. But time apart changed both of them. Eventually, they reunited, realizing the bond they had built before fame was stronger than the temporary distractions surrounding Jon's rising career. That decision would prove important in ways neither of them could fully predict. While his personal life was moving through uncertainty, Jon's music career was struggling to get started. In 1982, he recorded a demo called Runaway at the Power Station studio in New York. The recording featured session musicians because he did not yet have a permanent band. Armed with the demo tape, he visited record labels hoping to secure a deal. Most of them rejected him. The repeated rejection almost convinced him to give up on music completely. Then a strange opportunity appeared. Jon walked into the radio station WAPP 103.5 FM in New York and introduced his demo directly to DJ Chip Hobart. The station was experimenting with new local music and decided to include Runaway on a compilation album called New York Rocks in 1983. The song unexpectedly became popular. Suddenly, radio listeners were asking about the mysterious new artist. The problem seemed simple. Jon Bon Jovi did not yet have a band. He began assembling musicians quickly. Bassist Alec John Such joined first, followed by drummer Tico Torres and keyboard player David Bryan. When guitarist Dave Sabo left early in the process, another guitarist named Richie Sambora auditioned. The chemistry was immediate. According to stories later told by the band, Jon and Richie even returned to Jon's mother's house that night and wrote songs together in the basement. Within months, the lineup that would define Bon Jovi had formed. Success did not arrive immediately. The band released their debut album in 1984, followed by 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit in 1985. During those years, the musicians struggled financially. While recording the second album in Philadelphia, the entire band shared a cramped apartment. The heating barely worked during the winter, and they often slept on the floor because there weren't enough beds. The refrigerator was frequently empty. Yet they continued writing songs and performing shows, believing something bigger was coming. That breakthrough arrived in 1986. The band released their third album, Slippery When Wet, and everything changed almost overnight. The album climbed to #1 on the Billboard charts and stayed there for 8 weeks. Songs like You Give Love a Bad Name and Livin' on a Prayer became global hits. Arena tours followed. The group that once struggled to pay rent was suddenly performing in front of thousands of fans every night. Jon Bon Jovi had become one of the most recognizable rock stars on the planet. And that level of fame came with a lifestyle few people truly understood.